Good morning to you. Good morning. It is January the 23rd. We are approaching our third week. Well, I'm going to say approaching. We're already in it. Today is Monday. So we have approached our third week of January, the third week of 2023. So out of 52 weeks, there are 49? It's going to be almost 49 more weeks to go because the first 2 weeks are already gone out of 52 weeks. So you got to take that to 50. We're at 50. So we're about to go into 49. But we are here. We are alive. We are well. For those who are able to see me, I appreciate you. Whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching us on Facebook Live, or whether you're watching us on LinkedIn Live, or listening to us on a podcast distribution, whether it is iHeartRadio, whether it's Spotify, whether it is Anchor, whether it is Amazon Music, Podbean, all those various platforms, we say thank you and we appreciate you just for being here, because you can be anywhere in the world at 7:30 in the morning, but you are here, right here with me at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. So again, we always start in the spirit of gratitude and we start in the spirit of peace. So thank you and good morning, grand rising, whatever it is that you say, wherever you from, what type of frequency that you have and dwell and deal with, that's up to you. But again, like always, good morning. Because if I can say it to you, I have high expectations of you saying it to me, because I want your day to be just as good as your weekend was. If your weekend was not good, today is Monday, a day that you can start out in a different way, in a different frequency than what you just got finished dealing with over the weekend. We're not going to let our weekend to pour into our week. Why? Because we refuse to allow that to be doubled into what we're about to do for the week. Because I need you to be productive. I need you to be purposeful. And I need you to actually put in that work, right? All right, so we're going to put in that work. All right, so as you can see, the subject of today is the value of purpose. The value of purpose. So what I'm interested in learning from you is, how do you see the word purpose? Like, to you, what is your definition of purpose? That is an open dialogue question. You already know I'm going to give you the definition of purpose. Let me put the question up there. So this is a question that I want you to answer. Have you devalued your purpose? If you have not, then the answer is no. If you have, you can put yes, and then let's go and to discover why have you devalued your purpose and how we can go about adding value on to you and what your purpose is and what your purpose has been for you overall. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So let me go ahead and switch this screen. Bam, there you go. Again, the question that's proposed is, have you devalued your purpose? Have you or have you not devalued your purpose? All right, here we go. Very first definition that I want you to pay attention to. Of course, we're going to break down and define the word value overall. And then we're going to go into the definition of purpose. So it says the first definition of value is the regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worthy, or usefulness of something. The regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worthy, or usefulness of something. And the word that I want you to pay, the definition, well, let me back up. On this platform, you're going to get definition of the words, and you're going to get inversions of the definitions. It will either be red over white or white over red. If I say red over white, pay attention to the words that are in red. If I say white over red, I want you to pay attention to the words that are in white. So I'm going to read this definition again. The regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. And the inversion that I want you to pay attention to is red, part itself is white over red. So that means pay attention to the words that are in white. So the definition to pay attention to is the regard that something is held to deserve the importance, or worth. The regard that something is held to deserve the importance or worth. Like, do you still hold what is important to you in high regard? Do you still hold that purpose that you have for you in high regard? Because one thing that I want you to pay attention to, and something that you can look at for yourself, is you deserve for your purpose to be fulfilled. Because like I say all the time, your purpose was given to you on purpose. But since your purpose was given to you on purpose, peace, good morning, Miss Anderson. Since your purpose was given to you on purpose, then maybe you need to hold that purpose in high regards, because you deserve what is yours. You deserve for your purpose to be fulfilled. You deserve to be held in a high regard, because you are just as important as the purpose that was given to you. I'm going to say that again. You are just as important as the purpose that was given to you. And one thing that I want you to think of too, like, think of a fruit, right? Think of a fruit, whether it is an apple or a mango or something that has a seed in it, right? The fruit itself will not actually come to you. You have to go to the fruit. Because a lot of times we feel our purpose is going to come from something else or come from someone else. No, that purpose that you have comes from within. It has always been there. But you have to go to it. You have to go and pull it out of you in order for you to use it, to allow it to be what? Important, and to be deserved, and to have worth. Because you have a mango, right? Or you have an apple. Inside of the apple and the mango, you have the seed. Because the apple and the mango has the seed, but the nutrients and the components of the apple is already inside the apple. So the seed that you have that needs to be planted in order for you to grow is already inside of you. You are going to have to pull it out of you in order for you to plant new seeds, in order for you to be prosperous and to have a bountiful harvest. You have to pull what is already inside and expose it to something different. Like we spoke about this past week, was submitting to the soil. Because you have to pull it out of you and submit it, you have to understand that it's already there. It has already been birthed inside of you. The worth is already inside of you. The importance that you have about you is already inside of you. And it is held with high regard only if you feel that there is value to you. There is value in who you are. There's value in what you say. There's value in where you go. You need to also be the value in the room. And the next definition that I want you to pay attention to in the word value is a person's principle. Now, pay attention to principle, because we're going to be speaking about principle tomorrow. So this definition said the person's principle or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. And the inversion that I want you to pay attention to is red over white, which is a person's principles, standards of behavior. Like, what are your standards of behavior? Like, that can only be answered really by you. Like, what are your standards of behavior? What are the things that you know that you can do different? What are the things that you know that needs to be changed? Because when you begin to do things different, you begin to value what you do. Peace. Good morning, Miss Weston. Like, you begin to value your success because you have gone through so much pain to obtain it. Because the value, as it says, is a person's principle. Like, what are the principles that you have and held and hold in high regard that actually get you to fulfill the purpose that was already given to you, that is held with high regard deep inside of you? Like, have you valued yourself enough? Or are you constantly and consistently been held victim to your circumstance instead of holding yourself with value in high regards? I'm going to ask that again. Are you or have you held yourself as a victim of situations and circumstances because things haven't changed for you, probably because you haven't held yourself with the value that you know that you've been born with? Those innate abilities are value, but you have to bring it out based on the foundation of your principles and the standards of your behavior. I think a lot of times staying a victim, some people look at it as a safe space. But when you have the ability to transition your victim reality into your value of behavior and changing and altering that from being a victim to being a person of value, there's power in that. And I think I've learned that like maybe in my mid 20s into my 30s, and looking at, I've been a victim because I allowed myself to be a victim and to stay a victim because I didn't value myself enough to know that change has to happen. Change will happen when you get sick and tired of being in a situation. That's when change happens. Like, have you been sick and tired of being devalued? Have you been sick and tired of being the victim? And when you get to that moment and you get to that space that I must value myself more before I allow other peoples to devalue me, I will value me and hold myself in a high regard. That's different. That's different. Because the next definition that I want you to pay attention to, now we're going into the room of purpose. Like, have you been in that room of purpose before? Because after you leave the room of value, you go into the room of purpose, you're a much more brighter light. You're a beacon inside of the room. So let's go ahead and pay attention to the word, the definition of purpose. It says that the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. Miss Weston said, I had to learn how to respond or not to respond. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Because value is what? Remember the definition it said with value? It said a person's principles or standard of behavior. So when you've learned that whether I'm going to respond or not, that is my behavior because it is my choice. Now, if I always find myself responding, then I may also be the victim because I probably should have held my tongue just a little bit more. And when you learn that, especially as you get older, like silence probably is a much more stronger stance than you opening your mouth and you sounding like the person that you're communicating with. Both of y'all loud and nobody's getting the point across. So now what you're saying is now devalued because you wanted to get your last word, but your present is no longer felt. So now let's tap in to purpose. So it says the first definition of purpose, it said the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. And the inversion that I want you to pay attention to is red over white, which is the reason for which something exists. Like the purpose. I'm gonna tell you what I've learned about purpose since I when I was getting this podcast done. The reason, like I said, the reason for something exists. And I go back to the fruit. Like the fruit, inside of the fruit makes the fruit. Like the seed. Inside of the fruit is what makes the fruit. Right? The seed. There's no seed in the vegetable. But there is a seed in the fruit that makes the fruit the fruit. Yes, it may be sweeter than the vegetable, but it's the seed that makes the fruit the fruit. It's the seed that allows the apple to be multiplied to create another tree to then bear more fruit. Then it repeats that cycle. Like, what natural seeds do you have inside of you that gives you reason to exist? Are you naturally nurturing? Are you naturally like uh magnetic? Do you naturally have reason? Do you naturally speak prosperity? Do you naturally allow yourself to grow and to do things? Like, people like, how did you do that? Like, it comes natural. That's that seed that's already inside of you that you have to begin to plant in order for you to grow. It's natural. It is a natural existence for the fruit. Now, what allows it to become unnatural, kind of like you have a seedless grape, that's unnatural. A seedless watermelon, that is unnatural. Because the reason is there because they wanted the taste of the fruit, but it is unnatural that it cannot replenish or duplicate itself because of the seed. And the next definition that I want you to pay attention to before we go into the deep dive. And the definition says an extended or desired result. An extended or a desired result. I think a lot of times or far too often we lose our purpose because our desires we're at a conflict of our desires. We don't know what we want to do anymore because our fear has captivated us far too long that it allow us to sit in a space to where we don't even want to try anymore. Like, again, an intended or desired results. Like, what do you desire for yourself? The desires that you have for yourself will show in the results of what you do, in the results and how you communicate with people, in the results in the expression of your intent will show based on how people respond to you. Just like Ms. Weston said, I had to learn how to respond or not to respond. Like, what is your desired result in what you are going to say or what you don't want to say? Like, my intent was to say something, but my desired result was to be at peace. Like, so for my purpose for you is my purpose for me was to just not say anything. I can show you better than I can tell you. You ever been in that place? Like, I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm just going to do the work. My desired result is to finish this. And my intent is to show myself that I can do it and to make it happen. So let's go ahead and get ready to go into this deep dive. The value of purpose. Because somewhere along the way, we have devalued our purpose. If you look at it, our first directives were to what? It says to be fruitful and multiply, and to also what? And to have dominion. But somewhere we have allowed our purpose to be overpowered by our fears. Like, what and how we value purpose is going to be different. Right? You have to look at how we actually reflect on our values. It's looking and asking ourselves, what is important to you? Like, ask yourself that question. Like, what is important to me? Get a sheet of paper, say, what is important to me? And you write those things down. After you figure out what is important to you, and then you ask yourself, like, what do I stand for? Like, do I stand for these things? Because as you begin to explore your passions, you have to figure out what activities make you feel a lot more fulfilled and energized. What actual activities do you do that makes you feel like your purpose has been exposed? Because the greatest discovery that you can ever do is to discover your purpose, because your purpose becomes and transitions into your why. Like, what activities do you do that makes you feel energized, that gives you a sense of pride, that gives you a sense of power? Because when you do things and it's a part of your purpose and you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose, you stand different. You stand upright. You might even poke your chest out and be like, yeah, I did that. Right? But something that I want you to pay attention to, do not, do not mix your passion with your purpose. Don't get that mixed up. Because folks may choose to pursue a passion because it's familiar or it's safe, instead of taking the risk to pursue their true purpose. Like, don't get that mixed up. Like, oh man, but I'm good at this. You might be good at it, but that may not be your purpose. Because I want you to pay attention to something. Purpose is fulfilled when it is because it's designed to help others, right? Your purpose is designed to help others because your skills, your talents, and your gifts are given to you, but your purpose is designed to help others. Like, if you have a nurturing spirit or you're just a nurturing person, you being nurturing wasn't designed to help you. You being nurturing was designed to help others. It was given to you to help others. Now, yes, you're going to feel a certain way. You're going to feel good about yourself. Like, I feel good when I help people. But that purpose was given to you to help others. Like, have you been selfish with your purpose? That might be a much better question. Like, have you been selfish with your purpose, that you haven't fulfilled the purpose, which in turn and then intended to help others? Because remember, your purpose is an intended or desired result. Like, have your purpose fulfilled the destiny that is going to ultimately help others? Because you're going to have to look at your strengths and to see what you're naturally good at, because your strengths can actually be used to serve a higher purpose to others and to make a positive impact that would then could be the turnkey to your purpose. But if we're really being honest with ourselves, it's like we may need to take some time out and to self-reflect and to understand that our purpose, like, we have to take that time, like sit down and journal, whatever it is, take some time out to self-reflect and to understand what our purpose is. And one thing that I really want to leave you with, and I want you to look at it from an honest perspective, is that you may have to be okay that it may change over time, because the way that you grow and the way that you evolve is going to birth something new. Because if you're still the same person in your 40s as you were when you're in your 20s, there is a different growth that happens. Your purpose may be exposed But then now it's time for your purpose to be fulfilled. And it's going to be fulfilled in the work that you do. It's going to be fulfilled in the company that you keep. It's going to be fulfilled in the activities that you partake in. It's going to be fulfilled in the places that you go. But above all, it needs to be fulfilled internally inside of you, because your purpose was given to you on purpose. It's yours, but you have to assume it. You have to reach up and grab it. You have to take ownership of it. You have to say that it's mine and mean it with the intent of the desired result, because it's your purpose. And your purpose will be fulfilled by what you do for the greater good with high regards, not just for you, but even for others. So fulfill your purpose, and to know that your purpose is all yours. Your purpose is uniquely designed for you. No one else can say it how you say it. No one else can do it how you do it. No one else can write it how you write it. No one else can walk it how you walk it. They can't even sing it how you sing it. They can't draw it how you draw it, paint it how you paint it, run it how you run it. Because your purpose was uniquely designed specifically for you. All right. So I appreciate you for being here and just being in this space. And let's fulfill our purpose and understand that our desired results is waiting for us, because the intent is there. But live in that intense moment. I'm Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We're talking about the principles. Y'all be blessed. Peace.